Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to the Vrindavan Lila series. Today we are going to discuss Dvija patni anugraha Lila. That means how Krishna is favoring the Dvija patnis or the Brahman patnis in this Vrindavan pastimes. Why Krishna performs his pastimes on Bhauma Vrindavan, that means Vrindavan that has appeared on this earth. In the words of Sri Brahmaji, he explains, Prapancham nishprapanchopi vidambayasi bhutale, prapanna janatananda sandoham pratitam prabho. Prapancham nishprapanchopi. So you are extending your human-like pastimes on the earth, although they take place eternally in Nitya Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan. This Bhauma Vrindavan is also Nitya, but Krishna is performing those leelas here so that Prapanna Janatananda Sandoham, to give pleasure to the hearts of the devotees who are surrendered to Krishna. So they get great pleasure to see Krishna performing those pastimes in front of their eyes like that. So it is mentioned that Alaukikitopi laukikiyam Leela Hare Kachan Lobhaniya. Krishna performs supernatural acts as that of showing Vishwarup to Arjuna, etc. But greater than those alaukik leelas, alaukikitopi laukikiyam leela harer kachana lobaniya. His human-like pastimes are more dear to the heart, just like Mahesha Shirshadapi Bhumi Madhyam Gataiva Ganga Mudamatanodi. When Gangaji is on the top head of Shivji, she is worshipable, no doubt. But when she comes down on the earth, now people or devotees of Ganga can take bath in her, offer aarti to her, pray to her. So she spreads the happiness even more. Similarly, Krishna in his supernatural acts may be glorious, but he becomes more glorious by performing his pastimes, the human-like pastimes. But they are more sweet than the supernatural, like superhuman like pastimes. So we are going to see one pastime here. So we will see what our acharyas have explained. The lila is more beautified when she is explained by the acharyas, because when acharyas they hear the lila, they speak the lila, it is like mahanta mantar hrudayan mukhachuto. Their experience of ecstasy only comes out as their words. So in this particular pastime, I have referred to Srila Sridhar Swami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, Srila Nath Chakravarti Thakur, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So four acharyas commentaries I have referred to. So in a nutshell, Krishna is showing favors to Brahmana Patnis while he is showing that he is not impressed by one's education and one's learned behave and one's very cultured behavior or one's learnedness or one's intelligence. Rather, he is pleased by simple devotion. So it's a recurring theme, very enchanting theme, and let's see how this is done. So Krishna and Balram, they are requested by the Gopas that they are hungry, please do something. So actually, Gopas are not hungry. They are thinking that Krishna Balram are hungry, so they are requesting them. So Krishna Balram are saying nearby some Brahmanas are performing yagyas, so you go there and beg rice from them. So here is the first one. Krishna sends his friends to beg from the Brahmanas. So all these are the points shared by our acharyas. So let's go one by one. In this, the first point is mentioned that Krishna wants to glorify his devotees on the pretext of asking food. So Krishna, so so what we will do, I have given the lessons in the beginning of each statement, and then a pastime following that. So Krishna wants to always glorify his devotees. So therefore, on the pretext of asking for food, Krishna favored the Brahmana Patnis and he made the Brahmanas regret their mistake. So he wanted to glorify Brahmana Patnis by showing their behavior, and he wanted to show how, when the devotion is not there, whatever you do is not so impressive, at least in Krishna's eyes. Second lesson here, doing what Krishna desires is bhakti. So this particular pastime we are going to look at in a particular format. We will see the lessons and we will see the evidence. Okay. So doing what Krishna desires is bhakti. Sometimes people ask, what is bhakti? Whatever Krishna desires to do, that is bhakti. Just like Arjuna said, Karishya Vachanam Tava. That is bhakti. So here the Gopas, when requested by Krishna Balram to go and beg, they may object that these Brahmanas are Brahmavadis, meaning not really knowing the purpose of Vedas. And this they were doing for yajna, for attaining heavens. These Brahmanas are performing yajna, they are karma kandis, they are performing yajna to attain heavens. We are Vaishnavas, so why should we ask them for rice? We should not ask them for rice. So Krishna is saying, no, there will not be any fault upon you, as you are going there by my instigation or our order or our instigation. So when somebody does something for pleasing Krishna, there is no good deed or bad deed. It's all transcendental deed. Just like it is mentioned, anuchitam uchitam va karma koyam vibhago bhagavati yadi astam bhaktir ananda sandra. So if one has devotion towards Krishna, what is good deed and bad deed? Everything is for the pleasure of Krishna. Kirati Visham Mahindro Sandra Piyusham Indur Ubhayamapi Bivarti Ubhayamapi Mahesho Bivarti Nirvishesham. That means just like Lord Shiva, for him there is no auspiciousness or inauspiciousness. He is carrying, wrapping snake around his neck, which is all the time emitting poison. And on this head, the jatas that he is wearing crescent of moon, which is always emanating nectar. So whether it is emanating nectar or whether it is emanating poison, it doesn't matter. Uh, it is all for remembrance of Krishna, all for service of Krishna. So Gopas here are doing the same thing. Next lesson, only bhakti pleases Krishna and not the other qualities like tapa, etc. So this contrast is shown between Brahmana Patnis and Brahmanas in the pastime that we are going to see today. This fact will be clear, evident, just like it is mentioned in Padyavali, this verse comes, Maushakko vidurasya yadav pate rugravsya kim paurusham vidya gajendrasya ka. How does it start? Vyadasya acharanam dhruvasya cha vaya vidya gajendrasya ka. What was the behavior of Vyad, Dharma Vyad? He was in a hunter's family, born in hunter's family, yet he was a devotee. Dhruvasya cha vaya, what was the age? Age is not the factor. Dhruva was only 5 years old when he pleased Krishna. Dhruvasya cha vaya vayaha vidya gajendrasya ka. What was the education of Gajendra? He was elephant. Elephant is considered dumb amongst even animals. He is considered dumb. So Vidya Gajendrasya ka Maushakko Viduras. I'm sorry. Kubjaya kimu nama rupam adhikam kim tad sudamno dhanam. What beauty Kubja had? She was bent at three places. Kim tad sudamno dhanam. What wealth Sudama had? He was a beggar, and he asked, he gave Krishna just the begged rice as a gift. Vamshakko Vidurasya, what was the Vamsha of Vidura? He was born from a Dasi. Kim Ugrasya Kim Paurasham. And what was the bravery of Ugrasen? He was captured by his own son Kamsa and held captive. Bhaktya tushyati kevalai nahi gunai. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam nahi gunai. Bhakti priyo madhava. Krishna is pleased only by bhakti and not any other factors. So that is proved here. Then the Gopas go to the Brahmanas, and the Brahmanas, they neglect their boy's request. That is the next section. So in this first lesson is all knowledge follow bhakti. All knowledge follows bhakti, because these Gopas knew all the etiquettes of yajna. So they are saying that this particular yajna, you can give donations at any time. Uh, don't think that your yajna offering will become contaminated. They are asking the brahmanas, and the so they knew the etiquettes of yajna and dan, even when they were not learned from Nara Lila point of view. That means human like pastime point of view. Just like Krishna is Gopa Vesh, so similarly these Gopas are also like, you can say, they may not be highly learned in how to do Samaved, Yagyas, and etc. Chant Samaved and other things. But all knowledge automatically follows bhakti. Jnanam cheda haitukam. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Ashu Vairagyam. Jnanam cheda haitukam. At least that knowledge which is required to perform bhakti automatically comes. Second lesson in this, by little endeavor in bhakti, one can obtain anything. So they were saying that these Brahmanas were ignorant of this fact that little endeavor in bhakti, one can obtain anything, even if the one has material desires. It is mentioned, akamo sarvakamo va mokshakamo udaridi tivrena bhakti yoga nejata purusham param. If one even has material desires, at least worship Krishna only and let Krishna fulfill your desire. And slowly, slowly, there is a chance, probably by in association of pure devotee, one can get purified. He is not a loser. Even if he doesn't get Bhakta Sangha, still he will end up in Vaikuntha with Mukti. Hmm. And if he gets Bhakta Sangha, he will get Prema for Krishna and end up in spiritual world again in Vrindavan. So Brahmanas are ignorant of this and they are over endeavoring doing this yagyas. Uh, like the Shaunakadi Rishis also say that Satram Sargaya Lokaya, we are performing this yagya, but it is just that black suit from yagya is simply blackening our faces, mocking us that what are you doing? Do Harikatha. Next lesson, in Krishna service, one need not become morose in case of so-called failures. So these gopas are denied by Brahmanas. Brahmanas say, no, 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 go away, we don't give. Like they're asking, Krishna Balram are asking, but still Brahmana's heart doesn't change. And they tell the gopas to go away. So the gopas become morose and come back. So Krishna tells them that don't worry, that you did your job. You know, this is beggar has to be, those who are begging, they have to be humble and accept the situation as it is, like that. So Krishna is consoling that a karyarthi or requester should not become disappointed. In bhakti, especially, one has to be utsaha, nishya, dhairya. Even if there are some failures, one should again get up and do bhakti enthusiastically, like a warrior. once once he is down, still he still he gets up and fights. Next section, Krishna asks his friends Gopas to go to Brahmana Patnis now. So let's see what lessons we learn here from our Acharya's commentaries. First lesson is you are where your mind is. Krishna is saying these go to the Brahman Patnis because their minds are always residing in me, although they are staying in their homes. They are staying at their homes, but because they are giving their mind to me, you go to them and they will give you the alms. Next lesson, for a lover, even a hint is sufficient. Krishna is saying, don't even tell them that Krishna and Balram are hungry or they are begging alms or like some give something to them. Don't even tell them I am hungry and don't even ask for food. Just tell them that I am here. They will immediately give just by knowing that I have come. Hmm. So in Hindi they say समझने वाले को इशारा काफी है. That is true for a devotee. Like if he just needs a hint to understand what Krishna wants. Next lesson. Those who have deep affection for Krishna do not have anything to do with the worldly relationships and worldly enjoyments. Hmm. So this Brahmana Patni is their relation to their Brahmana husbands is in the relationship with the sacrifice only and not in the relationship with lust and lusty desires. They were simply serving their husbands, assisting them to perform yajna. Because a Brahmana needs a wife to perform yajna, so they are there. Because they have God bhav, a great affection only for Krishna only. Hmm. So their husbands might forbid them to give a food which was meant for yajna, to give it to Krishna. But well, they are snigdha. Their respect for their husband is not greater than me. Krishna is assuring the Gopas before even sending them. So, those who have affection for Krishna, uh, they do not have to do anything with these worldly relationships. Next, devotees do their duties, but his heart is always eager to discuss Krishna Katha. So when the Gopas are approaching these Brahmanas Patnis, these Dvija Patnis, they had finished their mandatory cooking due to being dependent on their husbands. So they are paradhin, they are dependent on their husbands. A person in the material world, in in a material sense, he is dependent on the relationships and others. So he has to fulfill some duties. But now, once they have prepared the food, now they are steadily sitting to discuss Krishna Katha with each other. And they're Swalankruta. While discussing Krishna Katha, they were dressed nicely because they were married, but they are more beautiful because being decorated by goosebumps due to discussing about Krishna. That is their real decoration. And they're discussed as chaste, sati, because they're chaste to Krishna. The real satitva or chastehood is to be chaste to Krishna. Next lesson. Uh, I will discuss the lesson at the end. I will go by the storyline first and then discuss the lesson. Krishna calls them snigdha, these Brahmana Patnis, which is a general term for love, although they were attracted to Krishna in conjugal love. So these Brahmana Patnis are young girls. In some pictures, usually they depict them as middle aged or something. That's not correct. They are young girls who are married. Um and they have conjugal love towards Krishna. That is perfectly clarified by our acharyas. They are loving Krishna in a conjugal love. Please bear this in mind. This is because, okay, but Krishna doesn't refer to their conjugal love because either they did not manifest their conjugal love towards Krishna because of the presence of Balramji, who is in elder position, so in front of him they could not express their conjugal affection, or because Krishna did not have similar conjugal disposition towards them. Why? Because Krishna says, Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyam. True. So Krishna also has conjugal love towards them, but he cannot express it now or cannot have it right now because they are in Brahmani's bodies. Hmm? Once they get gopi form, Krishna can fulfill their desires. Hmm? Gopa jati Krishna gopi prayasi tahar devi va anya stri Krishna nakare angika. Even if she is Lakshmi from spiritual world, Krishna cannot accept her because he is in Naralila. All his pastimes are according to Naralila. He is a Gopa, so he will marry a Gopi, or he will have pastimes with a Gopi, rather. Prayasi, his girlfriends will also be Gopis. His lovers, beloveds will also be Gopis. His Prayasis will be Gopis. So Brahmana Patnis were eager to give to Krishna. That is the next section. So husbands were saying, you can send the food to him, but you do not go with the food. Still, the Brahmana Patnis did not listen. They would not listen to husbands. So their fathers tried to dissuade. Then the friends who are even more affectionate, they tried to dissuade them. Then the sons who are most affectionate, they tried to dissuade. Uh, but they did not listen. Mention of the mothers is included with the fathers, or their like mothers are included in fathers, or their mothers did not forbid seeing their bhav for Krishna. So the lesson is Krishna Bhakti makes one indifferent to mundane opinions and counts no mundane obstacles. So all of them had a Naika Bhav. These all Brahmanis, heroine of Krishna who did not care for obstacles. Therefore, they were running towards Krishna. Hmm? So it is mentioned that Chaturvidam Bahugunam Anyam Adaya Bhajanai Abhisasru Priyam Sarva Samudram Evam Nimnaga. They ran towards Krishna just like Ganga flows towards ocean, hmm, without counting any obstacle. And then Nishidyamana Patibi uh, Pitrubhi Bhratrubhi Sutai. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Dirga Shruta Dhritashaya. Although they were stopped they were dirgha shruta dhrutashaya, which can address to Parishit Maharaj. Just like you gave up everything for Krishna, O Parishit Maharaj, these Brahmana Patnis gave everything for Krishna. Or you are dirgha shruta, you have heard so many pastimes. Have you ever heard this type of bhakti? He is asking. Never. Or Dhrutashaya, Dirgha Shruta Dhrutashaya means the Brahmanis, their minds were given to Krishna and their desires were strongly fixed in him because they heard a lot about Krishna. Dirgha Shruta. Next section is the loving exchange between Krishna and the Brahmana Patnis. The Brahmana Patnis are going to Krishna with all the four types of food. Leya, Choshya, Charvya, Peya, all four types of food. So it is mentioned as soon as the Brahmana Patnis reached Krishna, the Vrindavan forest itself removed their separation from Krishna. So the lesson is Vrindavan removes separation from Krishna. The forest has capacity to remove the distress of separation from Krishna. So therefore, one should make it a point that whenever possible, try to arrange and pray to go to Vrindavan uh, whenever possible. So they took Krishna in the inner chambers of their heart, through the doors of their eyes, and closed the door, closed their eyes, because in the heart they wanted to embrace Krishna. So out of shyness, they are closing their eyes. And just like a Krishna Abhimukh sadhaka would embrace a Param Bhagavata through eyes and relieve his distress, similarly, they embrace Krishna in their heart. So Krishna smiled because he knew that they are embracing him within their hearts. So the lesson is even thinking of serving Krishna is a reality as Krishna reciprocates with intentions. Krishna knows our intentions. Bhavagrahi Janardana. As it is said, Mudha vadanti Vishnaya, Dhira vadanti Vishnave, Ubhayam tu samam punyam, Bhavagrahi Janardana. So this means that the mood, those who are not learned, they say that Vishnaya Namaha, as if they think that Vishnu is Akaranta Pullingi Nam, just like we say Devaya, Ramaya, they are saying Vishnaya Namaha. But actually it is Ukaranta Pullingi, so it becomes Vishnave Namaha, like Gurave Namaha. So, but even if a non-learned person speaks like that, but his bhav is to pay obeisances, Krishna accepts that bhav. So Krishna twirled the lotus that he was carrying. Shamam Hiranya Paridim Vanamalya Barha. One hand he was keeping on his friend's shoulder and he was twirling one lotus and he was smiling beautifully, showing that he is twirling their hearts with his hand and their hearts are in his hand and he is curiously, eagerly twirling them. Or he is indicating that my heart is being twirled by your devotion. So that is being uh, hinted by Krishna. So then next session is Krishna instructs Brahmana Patnis to go back and continue their bhakti. He cannot immediately fulfill their desire. Let's see why. So he's saying, go now to bless your husbands. Escaping their desire for Anga Sangha for time being, he says, like the Brahmanis are saying, we want to serve you just like the gopis are serving. So Krishna is saying, no, no. Paramatma, see, you are serving me. Paramatma is dearer than Atma. Thus, you are always having my association as Paramatma. So do not insist on Anga Sangha, which is visible to all. Because you are born in Brahmana families, this is not possible for you in this life to directly have Anga Sangha with me. What can we do for you? Krishna is using Anekvachan for himself, plural. What can we do for you? I cannot fulfill your desires as your bodies are born in Brahmana clan. Thus, as you have obtained me giving up all other desires, I cannot do the same to you. Right now, I cannot reciprocate. Hence, you should continue embracing me in your hearts only, and I will also reciprocate in your hearts only. You can have Anga Sangha with me only mentally. I am only your Priya, and your husbands are simply Patayas. They are not Priya anymore. So your relationship with me only. So you won't have to worry about having any bodily relationship with your husbands. Rather, your husbands will consider you as gurus and leave you alone to perform your devotion. So the lesson is delay in reciprocation intensifies the devotion. So one should not think that, oh, I cannot have direct association with Krishna this lifetime. Delay only intensifies the devotion. The time delay creates more appetite to properly enjoy the feast. Krishna welcomed them just like